Hello, everyone. Jason Hagholm here, and I am joined by undefeated Canadian lightweight prospect Zack Powell. Zack's coming off a big win a couple weekends ago out in Alabama for the Strikehard promotion. Zack, how are you doing?
Pretty good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing quite well. Well, Zack, obviously you made the trek out to Alabama. Are you still stuck in quarantine?
Yeah, I'm still quarantined. I'm lucky to be quarantined with Kevin and Chris, so we get some good training in at home and respect it as best as we can.
At least you have some people around you. You're not like just driving yourself crazy and trying to find something to pass the time with.
Yeah, for sure. Though thankful to have that.
Well, Zack, you had that big win a couple weekends ago out in Alabama. Talk to us how this fight got set up. Because when I saw it, I was first of all happy that you were finally getting to fight. Because I know how badly you wanted to fight. But a trek out to Alabama seemed like something out of nowhere. But how'd this come about?
Yeah, so basically Dodge was out there looking for a fight for me, and we got offered this main event spot against Yemi Adewale, and I said yes right away. We were offered the fight. I watched like 5 minutes of tape, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I really want this fight. And the day after we had it booked, we had the contract in a week after, and just started getting ready for the fight like as soon as we had that confirmed.
Once
And
you, oh sorry,
oh, it's all
continue.
good. And yeah, so just like when I got the fight offered, my eye was like I got stitches like over my eye. I just got cut in training, so I was like off for like a week, and then I came back at NTT and just did my camp here.
So when you said you saw 5 minutes of tape of your opponent Adewale, what made you just instantly say, "Yup, let's go to Alabama"?
Just a good matchup for me. I really want to fight as well, so I'm not a picky guy when it comes to like picking fights. I think I match up very well against most fighters, especially if, like not in the big leagues yet. So I think I have the advantage there, and I'm just willing to fight anybody at this point. Like yes, I care about my record, but I don't think there's many fighters that are not on the big leagues that can beat me.
No, exactly. And then you made the trek out to Alabama, and I heard it was kind of a little stressful there, delayed almost a full day to get to Alabama. Talk to us about what that was like, because I can't imagine what that was weighing on your mind, and why did that happen?
Yeah, so I booked a more expensive ticket, paid more out of my pockets to get there in 4 hours. We were supposed to leave at 7 a.m. and get there at 11 a.m. Ended up happening, we left at 6 a.m. and got there at 1 a.m. the day after. Basically, get there at we got to the airport at like 5 a.m., get there early, 2 hours before a flight. Security didn't open until 6:30 to check us for the flights. And once we passed security, they sent us to secondary like customs because they thought I needed a P1 visa to compete. And I'm basically just trying to explain to them like, look, like they're paying my expenses. Like I'm just breaking even here. Like I'm not making any money. So and us end up by saying, okay, like you can go. And our flight had left like 5 minutes prior to that, so we missed it.
Well, I mean, that's just I mean, that just goes to show obviously how strict security is right now with the pandemic and everything like that. But that's just so unfortunate. But luckily, Zack, you did make it there, and you were able to go on and put on a real impressive performance. Now that the fight's a couple of weeks removed, have you watched the fight back, and what were you impressed with by your performance, and what did you think you could improve on?
Yeah, I watched it like I think twice since. I was happy with like just my wrestling, how it improved and how easier it is for me to like take guys down and not get exhausted doing it. I think I have to let my hands go more because like the stints we saw me striking like were very good. Like every time I was hitting him, he was getting hurt. And then we're also working on figuring out what to do when fighters are just stalling for the stand up because that's something Yemi was doing. He wasn't active off his back. He was just stalling and holding me there and waiting for the stand up. So we got to work on that as well to make the fights more entertaining.
Yeah, the little bit of the clips I got to see with you with your stand up, it's definitely really grown. Like we saw in the DeFreitas fight, you're excellent off your back and in your BJJ games, one of the best there for the regional scene. But your stand up's really up there. I mean, is that someone you're looking forward to fight maybe the next time out, more of a striker?
Yeah, so we actually have something in the works right now for December, and our goal is getting someone I can stand with that's not going to force the grappling exchanges. And we got someone right now that was offered to us, and someone that's like he's a grappler, but he doesn't have the wrestling to take me down, and he doesn't have the striking to stand with me. So it's a very good matchup for me to like work my hands and work my striking and my wrestling defense at the same time.
Oh, so breaking a little bit of news, you got working on something for
Yeah.
around December there. But well, you know what? We're all excited for when that happens. But I mean, Zach, you're now 4-0 as a professional. You just seem to be getting better and better. You have something worked up, but do you feel you could be on the verge of the Contender Series, maybe a last minute call, or heading into 2021 for next year when hopefully the world's a better place?
Yeah, like I feel like I'm there. I feel like I'm on the verge. Like it's I definitely feel like with the guys that are getting called right now, like I deserve a spot. Like I look at Jordan Levitt and Sherrard Blackledge, like the guys from Vegas are like low cost for them to get there, but like if you look at talent, like I feel like I'm more talented than them anyways. And like I feel like I deserve a spot there, but I'm gonna keep working for it. And like it's hard to make a rant about it when I'm training with Romero every day to actually deserves a real spot in the UFC. So like I'm still out there working, and like I'm gonna keep winning fights, and I'll get there when I get there.
Well, you mentioned Romero, who obviously didn't have the full result. He got the win in his fight, but didn't get signed by the UFC. But you've decided to make the trek out to Ontario to train at Niagara Top Team, and you've been there. And like success of that gym over this, pandemic summer into now the fall has been sensational. What was the decision for you to leave Quebec and come to Niagara Top Team?
So it started with we're all basically all managed by Dodge,
Yeah.
and Romero was getting ready for Contender Series, and he asked me if I could go down and help him get ready. I came down, stayed at Prickett's house, and like he's like, yeah, come over, like, and I just fell in love with the training. I fell in love with the group over here. It's so good, and so like I decided to start doing my camps here, and then like this fight just went great, and I don't see myself going back home and being happy, so I just decided to move here full time, like the day after my fight, like just moving here. So I moved here. I live at Prickett's now, and I'm a full-time MTT athlete, and I think we have like one of the best teams in Canada right now. So it's pretty good.
Absolutely, for sure. And you can tell there's a good family vibe. Like it kind of helps as well that a lot of you guys are managed by the same management company, but you all get along, and it's right now breeding a lot of success. We saw last week with Aaron Jeffrey and T-Shay, even though he didn't get the win, but you can see the growth there. So that has to make the move that much more easy for you too.
Yeah, it's so much more easier, and I feel like we have something that's going to take off very soon. Like AJ's UFC bound, Romero's UFC bound, Jazz is like 1 or 2 fights away, and like I feel like I'm knocking on this doorstep very soon as well. So like that's 4 fighters right there that in the next year or 2 could very well be fighting in the UFC, and like we could be like a hot spot for MMA in Canada, which would be amazing.
It totally would be. You left Quebec and you seemed like you weren't so happy training in Quebec. What led to kind of just not having the happiness there? And then was any of the factor of how COVID was going on, as that was the worst hit province, a reason you left, Zach?
Yeah, I feel like COVID didn't help, and like the way like the province of Quebec as a whole like treats martial arts, like we were just swept under the table when COVID happened. Like
Right.
we weren't allowed to train for like 5 months, but like all the other sports got the green light like 2 months after COVID. And I just feel like the schools where I was training at in Quebec were very good, but I feel like this is actually like a fighters gym, or like the fighters are the priority and not the recreational classes. So like I can feel the difference, and like back home I would probably have coaches on the mats like 3 times, 4 times a week if I was lucky, and here like there's coaches on the mats like every session, and like 12, 11 sessions a week there's always a coach there, or like even 2 or 3, right? So I feel like I'm in a very good spot over here.
Yeah, it totally seems that way. And like I said, everyone seems like they're having fun and stuff like that. Zach, you used to play hockey, and that's what was the sport that led you transition over. And the Quebec League, they kind of jumped the gun a little bit as they've now had to shut down again after starting up. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Because obviously there's no amateur MMA, or not amateur, regional MMA right now in the country. That's why you had to go out. When do you see like a timeline or some glimmer of hope of shows returning in Ontario or Canada for that matter?
I hope so very soon. From what I hear out west, I've already been planning a few shows. Like in Quebec and Ontario, I think we're a little bit more like scared of COVID than out west they are. So I don't see it happening like anytime soon, but I sure hope it will. Like I feel like it'd be done in a safe environment. Like I've been there. I just like we've all fought during the pandemic, and we fought over in the States, and we could be doing the same thing over here. Like there was next to no crowds. It was all pay-per-view sales. We're all tested for COVID. We're quarantined before. So like it would just be like even better if we can do it in Canada. Like that way we won't have to travel to the U.S. and like look where AJ fought. He fought in Miami. Like Miami's a hot spot for COVID, and I fought in Alabama, and basically COVID is like part of life over there. Like no one cares about it. So it would be even better if we could just do it here.
Yeah, I feel like they need to take a little of the restrictions off or find a way we can live with it, because right now until there's a vaccine seems like it's not going to go away, but it's going to be part of our life. But sports and everything needs to continue. But Zach, being in Alabama, was that your first time traveling down south to the United States?
Yeah, it was the first time down south. People are so nice. It's crazy. Like Southern hospitality is a real thing. And actually going back in 2 weeks now, we got a fight for Jared, one of our amateur guys. I'm going down to corner him. So it should be good times. Like I had a really fun time over in Alabama, and it'll be fun to go back a little bit.
What was your favorite thing about Alabama? I mean, obviously I know you didn't get to venture out because you got there a little bit later and had to focus on the fight, but what'd you like overall about Alabama and that part of the South?
Well, fighting was the thing I enjoyed the most, but like honestly, after the fight, we went out for a few drinks, we went out for food, and like what I noticed right now is that like COVID is basically unexistent over there. It's like people are not worried about it too much, and it actually felt good getting away from that, like getting away from strict measures for like, like I was locked in from Wednesday to Friday just so I don't catch COVID myself. But like I could have easily went out. We weren't supposed to quarantine, but like it was fun to just get out there and like get away from all the strict stuff and have a little bit of fun and come back home to all of it and not have to quarantine for 14 days. So like it's a little rough. Like I can't say like it's fun, but it was fun to get away from it for a night.
Well, Zach, you said you're going back there to corner some for the amateur guys at Niagara top team. And two questions. One, this Strikehard promotion in Alabama, they seem to be putting a nice bit of growth on there. I talked to a fighter today that said they treat the fighters really well and are excited to get on there. And question two, I saw by your hotel there was a Waffle House. Will you get to hit up this Waffle House this time?
Yeah, so they actually do treat the fighters very well. Like the only thing like I didn't like everything was perfect except one thing was like weigh-ins. Like weigh-ins were supposed to be at a certain time and we waited like 25 minutes, but like that's bound to happen. Like it's part of weigh-ins. It's just kind of annoys me when I'm cutting weight and I just want to weigh in and eat and drink water and eat. But Waffle House, yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to hit it up. Like I'm definitely gonna go there. Like for sure. I don't have a choice. Like I'm not I didn't pig out too much after the fight, and my weight's good. I'm keeping my weight low for my next fight, so like I'm definitely gonna enjoy one meal there.
Yeah, I think you absolutely have to, especially considering how peak it was in your one Instagram photo. You definitely need to go check it out and see what the hype is about of a Waffle House. Just a couple more for you, Zach, before I let you go. I mean, you did mention when I asked you about, the next step, Contender Series. I saw you trying to maybe get on the Contender Series for this year, calling out Sherrod Blackledge, who did fight before they took this little hiatus when they went off to Fight Island. Mm-hmm. I mean, hopefully that's a fight you could maybe see down the line, because you definitely, in the words of George St. Pierre, were not impressed by his performance.
No, I wasn't, but hey, he's got another fight lined up now. Yeah. He's fighting Tucker Lutz, I think, who's 10-1. like, hey, if either guy pulls out, like I'm definitely gonna be throwing my name in there to step up. Like, it's just either guy. Like I could fight either of them and put on a good show and get a contract. But yeah, like I'm wishing both of them the best, and like, man, if they can win and go out there and put on a good show, then it's just good. Like there'll be more lightweights in the UFC that I'll be able to beat. So good for them.
Yeah, for sure. And I keep asking a lot of these Canadian fighters this, and a lot of them from Niagara Top Team, that happens to be who a lot of guys I've interviewed. But you're part of the next wave of Canadian MMA. Like they're maybe even the third wave right now. What does it mean to be, a young up and comer representing Canada and having the success you've had?
It means a lot. Like it means so much. You look at like the past waves of MMA, and we've had GSP, David Loiseau in the first wave, like all of Team Tompkins guys like Hominick and Sam Stout, and then you had a little bit after like Rory McDonald and a few other guys. And now in this wave, like I feel like we have like actually like complete martial artists, and like the future is so bright. Like there's Laramie and Jourdain, Barrio that are already in the UFC, but then you got like AJ, Romero, Jazz, me, and like I could just name a few more. Like I think Christian Savoy is also fighting soon at CFFC. Just a lot of Canadian talent right now, and it's very impressive. And I think like uh, when Dana White comes back to the Bell Center, when he's going to be allowed, he won't have a sour taste in his mouth like last time, because last time was, I think, a crowd of 10,000 people, half the crowd. And I think if he goes back in like 2, 3 years from now, when we're all fighting there, it's going to be a full house.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're all excited for that, and I totally agree that you're all part of that wave, and it's going to be exciting. And my last one, a little bit of a softie. I know you're a big shoe guy, Zach. Have you
Yeah.
had any time to pick up any new swag during this pandemic, or coming back from Alabama?
See, I'm trying to just save money for so I don't have to work at all until I make it to the UFC and make like actual okay money fighting. So I'm just saving money right now and not making any crazy expenses. And I'll definitely like when I make it, I'll definitely like ball out on some shoes and buy some fancy stuff. But for now, just staying disciplined, focusing on training, and be able to pay what I have to pay.
I think that's smart. Obviously, you're saving yourself in the pocketbook. But if money was no object, what are you kind of eyeing right now and be like, oh man, I wish I could have that?
Man, since I watched that Jordan documentary on Netflix, I just want to buy Jordans every day. Like I'm looking them up, and I like Jordan 1s, Jordan 4s. Like I just want all of them.
Yeah, I mean the Last Dance really helped raise the stock of those shoes, even though they're iconic as it is.
Hmm.
It just rose them through the roof. I mean, any colorway, any way, whatever. And
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're the best pair of shoes right there. So, anyway, Zach, before I let you go, plug yourself out there on social media, because I think you're definitely a prospect and a talent that a lot of people need to keep their eyes on as 2020 comes to an end, and especially heading into 2021.
So Powell MMA for my Instagram, Pow MMA for Twitter. I've been a little bit more active on Twitter lately, trying to like figure that stuff out. And yeah, like 2021 should be a good year. Like I should get one more fight this year, like three more next year, and eyeing the UFC very soon. So it's fun times.
Well, this is Zack Powell. He is making a run towards the UFC, a 4-0 undefeated Canadian prospect. Zach, thanks for your time and best of luck in your career.
Thank you so much.